Hi, Checotah Intermediate students. This is Reading with Mrs. Brinsfield, Week 2, Lesson 2, Building Vocabulary with Meaningful Affixes. Now, you're probably not familiar with the term affixes, but you are prefixes and suffixes, and affix is just another way to talk about both prefixes and suffixes. So it's something you already knew about. You just weren't familiar with that term, probably. Now, my lesson today comes from the Florida Center for Reading Research. It's an online resource where I get a lot of my lessons. And this is a vocabulary building lesson, and it is titled Meaningful Affixes. And you can print the lesson and then cut apart the words and the prefixes and the suffixes. But to save some effort, I went ahead and just wrote them on notebook paper. And I've got a heading for prefix, a heading for base word, and a heading for suffix. Let's go through the prefixes. We've got un, non, dis. All three of those can mean not or opposite of. I've got miss, which means wrongly. If you misspell a word, you wrongly spell the word. I've got in, which can mean not, just like un, non, and dis, but it can also mean into. Re means again. If you reread a story, you read it again. Pre means before. If you preheat the oven, you're heating it before you actually bake the cookies, as long as you have an adult to help you with that. Our base words, we'll come back to those in just a second. Suffixes that we're working with today are able, which means is or can be, or a lot of times I'll think able to, and then whatever the base word is. Is one who, whatever the base word is, like teacher, one who teaches. EST, when it's comparing at the end of a word, can mean most, like fastest runner would be the most fast runner. Full means full of, joyful means full of joy. Less means without. If you were penniless, you would be without even a penny. LY means resembling, or you could say in a blank way. If the word was slowly, you could say in a slow way. LY on a word turns it into an adverb, which gives more information or describes a verb. Ness at the end of a word means the state or quality of. The word darkness means the state or quality of being dark. And the base words that we're working with today are assemble, avoid, clear, comfort, direct, faith, fiction, heat, inform, and kind. We have 10 base words that we're working with. So let's look at this other paper that I have written out, and we've got a meaning section. And then over here we've got the prefix plus the base word. We could have the base word plus a suffix. I don't think any of the words we're working with today have a prefix, a base word, and a suffix, but words most certainly can. The first meaning is not fiction. So even though you see the answer over here, act like you don't. So not fiction, our base word is fiction. If we didn't have the word that matches up exactly, then you would need to choose a word that means very much the same, a synonym for that word. But we do have the word fiction. So not, it's probably going to be un, non, dis, or even in. So unfiction, nonfiction, disfiction, in fiction. So what have you heard of before? That's right, you've heard of nonfiction. And if I wanted to write a sentence about that, I could say, I really like to read nonfiction books! Exclamation mark. Let's go back to our meanings. And by the way, I wrote nonfiction there. Heat before. So heat before, and let's look and see if we have the word heat. Yes, we do. But like I said, if heat was not on the list, you could choose a word that is a synonym for heat. So heat before, well, I know that pre means before. So there's not another prefix that means before, and there's not a suffix that means before. So it would mean, the word would be preheat. So we'll go back, and that's what I had written. Preheat means to heat before. Then we've got not direct. So when I'm going back, I see the word direct, and I'm looking. Not prefixes are un, non, dis, or in. So let's try those. Undirect, non-direct, disdirect, indirect. Have you heard of one of those before? Well, the one that we're needing that is actually a word is indirect. So click back over here, and for not direct, the word is indirect. So we've got the rest of these, numbers 4 through 25, and on a sheet of notebook paper, you could write those down and take a picture and send it to my email. Or you could just type in the answers into my email and send it to me that way. But I wanted to mention one other thing. So after you get all 25 of these on another sheet of paper or on the back side to save paper, you could number 1 through 10, skip lines in between because it makes it so much neater, and make up sentences using 10 different words that you have created here. So if I wanted to use preheat in a sentence, I could say, we had to preheat our oven before we baked the cake, period. So I'm using the word preheat. So if you could come up with 10 sentences using these words, that would be awesome. So let me go ahead and give you my email. It's cbrinsfield@checotah.k12.ok.us. And again, take a picture of what you've done and email it to me. Or you could just type in the answers into the email, into the body of the message there. So I will be talking to you again very soon. Take care. Enjoy this time with your family. And bye for now.